So today we are going to talk a little bit about the process that we go through each year when we set out to blend our wines. And one of the things that we do at Ambassador that is different than a lot of other wineries, and we do this at the insistence of Tom, our consulting winemaker, is we will go through and we will barrel grade, meaning we taste and we give a grade to that barrel, every single barrel of wine that we have from a given vintage. So this is unique because what a lot of wineries will do is when they go through and they taste their barrels, they'll actually just kind of pull a sample from several of their different Cabernet barrels, and they'll blend those together, and that's what they will sample. Um, as opposed to us going through and actually pulling an individual sample from each of those barrels. So it's a long process that we go through. I believe last year we tasted through not quite 200 barrels of wine, and we did that in a day and a half. So it is a very intensive process that we go through for this, but it's all in the name of quality. It's all in the name of making the best wine that we can possibly make. So we will literally get to the facility at about 8 o'clock in the morning. We start grading barrels, we start tasting, we start assigning grades to those barrels, and we'll go probably till about 2 o'clock or so because we don't want to stop. We don't want to go and have lunch because once we do that, your palate is done. And you don't want to come back and grade because you really can't trust the grades that your palate's giving you at that point. So we'll finish up the next day. And we do all of this because when we sit down to actually put our blends together, we want to know exactly what we're working with. It's really, really important to us to understand what each of those barrels is giving us. What are all of the different components that we have to play with? And when I say we, I mean Mike and Tom have to play with in putting those wines together. So what is barrel grading? What does that even mean? Essentially, we taste the barrel, um, and then each of us that's present, usually it's Mike, it's Tom, it's me, and it's Flavia. And Mike and Tom will taste the wine, and that grade is simply going to be either a check if that wine is good, if that barrel is solid. It's going to be a plus if that barrel is really good, or it's going to be a double plus if that barrel is excellent. So we're really looking to discover what are those double plus barrels that we have out there to work with. And the reason that we want to know that is because we will always start with our double plus barrels when we're putting our wines together. So the first and foremost, what we're going to try to do each year is we're going to try to make this guy right here, which is our Alliance. This is our flagship red wine. This is the best of the best. It has to really be something extraordinary from that vintage in order for us to actually produce an Alliance. And that's all going to start with knowing what are those double plus barrels, because no two double plus barrels are going to be the same. Some are going to be more expressive than others, perhaps. Others are going to have different qualities that allowed it to earn that double plus designation. But we're looking for the most special of those double plus, and that's what's going to go into the Alliance. Now, after that, we're going to work our way to the Plenipotentiary. This, remember, Plenipotentiary is our reserve level wine. So again, all double plus barrels are going to go into this. So there may be years where we feel like it's not quite there to do the Alliance, but there's definitely enough there to do the Plenipotentiary. So double plus in these two guys right here. Then we're going to move down to our estate wines, and these are going to consist of both our plus and our check barrels. So these are going to go into, those barrels are going to go into our core wines. So the regular estate cab, the estate syrah, those are going to go into the diplomat, the envoy, the minister, those blends. What's really exciting, actually, in 2023, we just finished recently doing the blending and the bottling on those wines. And for the very first time, we are actually going to have a plenipotentiary Malbec. So never before has this been done by us. We've always had a plenipotentiary cab. We've had a plenipotentiary syrah. We even once did a plenipotentiary Grenache. But for the first time, we're going to have a Malbec. And I'm really excited about it. It tasted phenomenal. It's going to be very small quantity, only 75 cases. So again, got to be a club member in order to get it. So if you're not a club member, be sure to join. But I'm really excited about that. And that, of course, is made out of plus barrels of Malbec, double plus barrels of Malbec, I should say. So You go to the regular estate wines, you're going to find plus barrels and you're going to find checks going into there. And then the last one that we've got here, this is our attaché. So this is, not necessarily to do with barrel grading, but the attaché, this is our introductory level wine. So it's the only wine that we make that actually, only red wine that comes in a screw cap. So it's very convenient. And this one is a little bit different because it's a blend. And it's a blend that's going to be completely different every year. And the reason for that is this is the very last wine that we make. And it gets made out of whatever barrels are left after we get done blending everything else. So what that means is that sometimes we may have more cab, so it's going to be a cab dominant blend. Sometimes we may have more Syrah, so it could be a Syrah dominant blend. It could have some Cab Franc in there, or maybe next year it's going to have some more Malbec or a little bit of Petit Verdot. It just really depends on how all of our other blends went together. That's going to determine what's left and what's going to go into this attaché. So it's going to be slightly different, which is why I consider this like our weeknight wine. It's priced at a price point where you can open it on a Wednesday when you really want to have a nice bottle of wine, but you don't want to open something that's super expensive. You don't have to feel guilty about opening this. And again, this is going to be all barrels that earned a check, meaning those are perfectly solid barrels. They are a good expression of what our vineyard has to offer. Nothing wrong with it. It's all estate red mountain fruit. It just didn't find a home in our other blends. So that's where the attaché comes from. So this is really why going through tasting every single barrel is incredibly important, because otherwise we really don't know what we have to work with. And how can we really put together the best blends, the best wines that we can if we don't really know what our best barrels are? So that's why the process is so important. And, I'll take one for the team every year. Oh, darn, I got to taste through 200 barrels of wine. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.